Yes, guys, welcome back to the pod, man. What's going on? Let's talk about it, man. Queens 24 Solo, welcome back. How you guys doing?
We
Pretty,
we here,
pretty
man.
good.
We here, man. Glad to
Oh
be
yeah.
here.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Opening day 2026 World Cup.
World Cup,
It's a beautiful day, man.
Let's talk
beautiful.
about it, man. Let's get to it, man. Let's get straight to it, man. Like you mentioned, the World Cup 2026 is finally here, and Mexico has finally shake off the curse, should I say. He got Messi. He got Messi, but they do the thing, man. And a lot of things happen here. Three red cards. They're all solid red card, in my opinion, but I get you guys' take on that. And then, of course, Mexico beat South Africa 2-0. It's South Africa that I don't even think they're ready to get off the plane yet. They seem like they're still on the plane.
Yeah, boy.
It's been a few times that Mexico started the World Cup very slow. When you mentioned, I think the past three World Cup or so, the fans and everybody else, even me too, I was surprised when they go to World Cup compared to when they play against United States or Comfort over here, and they really look decent. But when they go to the World Cup, they start slow. But today is at home. Nothing better than starting up the World Cup at home, and they show
Oh,
off against South Africa, beating them 2-0. Fellas, give me your reaction, man. What happened to the Bafanas, and how impressed are you guys are with Mexico playing? Solo, talk to me because I
yeah,
know you can't wait because you're a United States diehard fan.
I'm a diehard man. I'm already represented, man. USA. So you talked about Mexico. I think I heard a stat today that they have played 8 opening games or something like that, and they're winless. So it was a good start for Mexico. Like you said, South Africa wasn't ready for this game, man. Yo, I was watching the game. I'm like, is this the best what Africa has to offer right here? Because South Africa, they were so disorganized, man. Like they're making like silly mistakes. And I don't know if they were nervous. I understand they could be nervous, opening ceremony played in one of the greatest World Cup stadiums, the only stadium in the history of the World Cup to host 3 World Cups. A
Right.
lot of big names are playing that stadium. Talking about Maradona, Pele, everybody playing that stadium. So I guess they were nervous, but I think it was a great start for Mexico. They looked really, really good. Like you say, the past couple years when they play against the United States and other teams here, they don't look really good. But today, being at home, the opening ceremony, all the big shots there, FIFA president was there. Listen, they give us a good show. And I feel bad for South Africa because I don't think they were prepared to play. I don't know if it was the attitude or the heat or whatever it was, but Sarko was not ready. But then I realized when the announcers kept saying because of the format having changed from 32 teams to 48 teams, you can finish third place in your group and still have a shot to advance to the next round. All you have to do is don't get blown out when you lose. So I feel like once it was still nothing, I think they were comfortable just, let that game end to nothing without conceding any more goals. And they were hoping in the next couple of games, get a draw, a win, and they might make it to the next round.
Right, Queens.
Correct.
Before you get that, I like what you say though. Like the hemisphere. I know you focus on South Africa, but Queens, like I want you to talk to me about really about Mexico. Why they keep calling it Mexico? Is that it don't worry, man.
Actually, the right pronunciation has to be Mexico.
Mexico. Oh,
Mexico, viva
okay.
Mexico.
Mexico.
Now
Correct.
talk to me about them deeply, man. Like how to start this game and see the urgency from the beginning from the start to the end. There's no part of this game that they struggle, man. What was more impressive you about Mexico in this game?
Yeah. From the most part, from what I saw, I tried to watch most of the game, but from watching it and watching them from the opening, they look a little bit more put together than in the past in terms of how they're attacking. They have an attacking style right now, which if we look in the world of football, that is the game right now. And so it looks like they caught themselves a little bit, and they're moving with urgency to try to solidify themselves in the next round. I'm pretty sure they wanted to score more goals if they could today. But yeah, what's my guy, the striker that played for Fulham? He's going to I believe right now. I think he's going to Wolves. What's my guy's name, man? His dad just recently passed away, and he scored today.
Real. Well, I just lost.
Quinones scored, and then my other guy, yeah, the
Yeah.
guy. I gotta pull his name up, but yeah. So they're looking like
Why not the first goal, man? Go ahead, my bad.
yeah, 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 Quinones, man, and he's actually representing Colombia, but he chose to play for Mexico as his home country. So
Right. I hear
they're
that too.
looking, they're looking like they are taking the game by the scruff of the neck, and they're not wasting any time here. being at home, also the atmosphere for them was electrifying, you know? So even if you saw some clips before, their fans are interacting with the international fans, lifting them up and throwing them over their head in the beginning of
Yeah,
the game. All of that just shows you what the atmosphere of Mexico really is, or Mexico. So I believe Mexico, that's what they're coming to do, is say, hey, we're here to compete this year. And this is how we're starting it off. I know South Africa, I mean, like Solo said, they're gonna look to get what they can get. I didn't see the red card offenses, but after I saw that, I was like, you know, they're just worrying about the next game at this point, you know. So I think South Africa's gonna try to get what they can get. They're not as strong as the past as we've seen them as far as their talent goes, you know. So I believe Mexico, though, they're here to stamp their name and say that we're here to compete this year, you know, because their fans, they really want to see Mexico really stand out and actually compete in the later rounds. They don't want to see, and them being a host nation too
Right.
will, you know, who's their next game, might I ask?
I think the next game might be in Dallas. Actually, I think, but I gotta double check. Which
Yeah,
to me, it's kind of surprising that why wouldn't they let Mexico play all their three
Yeah,
games at home?
at
I
home.
mean,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I gotta,
I mean,
yeah, I gotta double
isn't the
check. But
USA gonna play? Isn't the USA gonna play all their games home?
the next
yeah,
game is gonna be
Jimenez,
the next game gonna be against South Korea.
where
June 8th.
Dallas?
I'm not sure about the location, but
that's gonna be a very good
no,
game.
no, I think they're gonna be playing somewhere in Mexico that I
Or
couldn't really
Mexico? Oh,
pronounce.
Guadalajara.
Raul Jimenez, that's our guy,
Yeah,
man.
so
Yeah,
just look
Raul
yep, just
Jimenez,
look it up.
Jimenez. Yeah, so yeah, it's nice to see him score. I mean, he's been playing great football all year, and he came back from a head injury, you know, and he's still you know punching at the bag. So good to see him score. You know, I think Mexico though, they're gonna try to do what they can, man. Everything they can. They're in front of their home fans. It was
Yeah.
good to see them get on the front foot. But Bafana, man, wow,
Yeah,
I was not
yeah. But
expecting that.
by by the question I have though, was it the quality of Mexico or just that Bafana were just
This
But
underwhelmed?
this is
that's a
what I
great
want to
question.
know.
That's a great question, but I want to just give Mexico a lot of credit too first before like you got to give them credit before you talk about how poor Bafana South Africa was. You know, so for me, Mexico taking advantage, like team that know exactly what they do, or what they're doing because they stay disciplined. They force South Africa to be on the feet throughout the whole. They just patted them back and they just capitalized in every space. How they move the ball to the space. That's how they got the 2 goals. It was all
Right.
built up from them building, like you mentioned earlier, Coins, about how they just attacking football. They're attacking, they're building, they know the midfielders are doing the thing. South Africa got to outplay in the middle. Once you get outplayed in the middle, you expected the goals to come with it. And that's what they did. So to capitalize in every opportunity, it was just a clinical, though, one of the best goals you could see. Because you got it, you turn the ball over, and you execute. Simple football. You know, they didn't
Right.
do much to it. They just know that when I got the opportunity, I'm gonna capitalize. Yeah, they could have made it 3-0, but there's few things that happen in football. But
0 goals
I
against.
0, right? And they didn't concede no goals. So for me,
Mhm.
I
Right.
give a lot of credit to them. It's an opening match. You normally don't see this type of opening. But let's talk about the headline. The headline is not just about Mexico winning 2-0. It's not about how poor South Africa.
Oh gosh.
We got 3 goddamn red cards in this game, man. This is what the headline is gonna be because it's gonna seem like, damn, he was a fight. He was a physical battle.
Yeah, yeah.
Teams was really grinding out. He got 3 red cards. I don't think if I've ever seen an opener like this, even in a World Cup game like this in my
No,
era. I don't know
no,
about you guys, but
no. In actually in the history of the World Cup, I don't think we've had a team finish with 9 players, 3 red cards in the game, and so it was a first for a lot of things to it.
all right. So what do you guys think about them red cards though? Are they? I don't question them. I think they're the right call, but VR didn't do much. The game wasn't stopped for no long time period. We all could see what happened. I
I
mean,
mean, by the letter of the law, those red cards were actually okay. You know, if you are the last man, right, and you commit a foul where it seems like the striker has, clear and obvious, is gonna score a goal or the thing's gonna score a goal, you're always gonna get a red card in that situation. Now, the Brazilian referee was Brazilian. He was, he was a no nonsense kind of referee. You can argue with him, you can deny to him, which to me, I was fine with it. Listen, South Africa, they should have known better. Three red cards. Now, now the announcers they questioned the Mexican red card. I was watching, and the announcers were like, "Ah, that's too harsh." But I feel like if you give the two red cards to South Africa,
Yeah.
it was just it was normal to do the same for to Mexico too. So I mean, I have no problem with those red cards. I think FIFA they have an agenda. They're trying to. I think they figured the way they officiate the first game will set the standard for the rest of the tournament. So the rest of the teams now they know what to expect. Of course, it won't be the same referees, but I think they're all gonna be following almost the same standard. So if you play rough and tough football, you better watch it.
Correct.
It is hot and dry, man. Once you lay on that, man, listen.
Man, it's gonna be
Once you hit
brutal.
once you hit that floor, bro, it's gonna happen. You're gonna feel just more than that.
It's gonna be
Uh,
brutal.
yeah, man, you gotta feel more than the taco, man. Something the ground,
Right.
man.
And
Don't miss that at all.
I know one thing I failed to mention, which is such a big deal, like in case for South Africa, if they are hoping to make up the points in the next games, this was bad because you get two red cards. You gotta miss the next game, right? So if you have two starters, now
Out.
they miss that next game, you pretty much done. I think this is the end of South Africa right here.
Yeah, not a good
Yeah.
start for them.
Right. They're not beating South Korea, you know what I mean? So they already lost to Mexico. So I think that's the end of the road.
You just answered my next question. I was gonna ask me, was the red card a bigger deal or not? And yeah,
Huge deals.
yeah.
Huge deals. Because now your whole plan changed. You weren't
You're
planning for that.
right.
Not one person, but two.
Right.
You know, so
And-
now you
and
gotta
they-
go rotate your squad early.
Right. And a lot of teams are not that deep now.
Or maybe this is the best thing that happened to South Africa. They had to rotate because them guys out there were trash. Some guys out there wasn't ready. There was no discipline. You could see like you come into the greatest tournament in the world with no discipline.
Mhm.
And you expect to do what? And against a team that's playing at home in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of fans.
Yeah.
Even if it is a South African fans out there, it's not going to be more than 2,000. The way it seems.
No.
This is and there's around the world. We all know who some of us are rooting for. Although you guys are from Africa, because some guys are scared that if you root for you guys, you might think that they're taking the job away from you. So, there's a lot of things going on. So for South
Crazy,
Africa to
man.
come out here,
Trust me.
it is, man. Like for you guys to come out here and not be prepared enough to come compete and play the way you guys play. By the time you're trying to get in the game, man, your back is against the wall. This ain't a war that you just gonna come out of it. You gotta get now. Your mindset is what's gonna happen in the next game. You said it solo, man. Like how you been allowed 2 goals, then if that's the case, because you wasn't ready. You could have
Right.
just you could have just dropped the Arsenal Tata shit, man. Play 11 man in the box. Well, I forgot there was not 11 men in the box.
It was nice. It was nice.
11 men on the field.
Yeah, but
But you guys
gentlemen,
got
think,
2 red cards.
think about it though. So I saw that, I'm always looking at stats, and I hear this stat saying actually the South African team is one of the 8 teams at the World Cup that have every single player that was playing that were born within the country, right? So that's another, I guess
Wow.
that's another history they made.
History.
So obviously, majority of the other countries they have recruited players that were born in a foreign country for whatever reason
Yeah.
they're eligible to play for their teams. Now, so that gets me thinking. With the way the world is changing, the world is becoming more connected these days. There's so many national teams have dual nationalities on like citizens on their team, and they get to pick what team they'll represent. Do you think the countries that are not trying hard to do this, they're gonna be left behind? We've seen United States. Half the team were not even born in the United States. Yes, they're Americans, but a bunch of them were born in Europe. They grew up in Europe. That's how United States got better, I think. That's how we have all these players playing in Europe. So do you guys think teams that are not doing that are gonna lag behind compared to other person? Like, yeah, it's a good thing South Africa have players all were born in South Africa, right? Now I don't know why every single one of them play professionally, but of course they're born in South Africa. But so maybe that affected their quality maybe on the field. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
But the
I mean,
passion should be there. The
Right. For
passion of
Germany,
playing.
for Germany or England, it makes sense. They have the best leagues. So it makes sense all their
Yeah.
players were born and grew and they might play local. But the rest of the world, if your quality is low, you gotta export your best players to go improve their skills overseas.
Right. And when you mentioned about South Africa having they don't have no dual citizenship playing on the team. I think that the passion to represent the flag should be there because they are.
Why
They're
it
just
wasn't there?
there was that's what I'm saying. They just a bad team. They wasn't disciplined. They wasn't prepared enough. I don't know if the head coach is not from South Africa, but that's a conversation
What?
for another day. He's not a bad thing.
That's
But
surprising.
yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Right.
I know he's white, but I don't know if he's white South African or he's not. I'm
Yeah.
not sure where he's from.
Well, I don't if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he's from South Africa. But dude, man, South Africa, I don't know how they're gonna bounce back. I don't know if they're ever gonna have
They're not gonna bounce back.
but
And
90
makes
what?
and makes me sad because for so long, I know at least for you, most I've been telling you for years and years how Africa for the longest, even though Africa has the most countries members in FIFA, they always get the lowest number of representatives. It's
Right.
because the rest of the world, FIFA and Europeans, they think the quality of football in Africa is very, very low. You can't give them enough teams. Now, this year, this World Cup for the first time, they give us a higher number of teams, and this is the first showing we show.
Right.
Explain, bro. Explain. Why
The
I'm
reason
wrong.
why I gotta disagree with you, I don't think it's based on the quality of the game. I think it's also based on the political side, the politics side of it.
Why
You
is
see,
true?
I'm over here. I'm gonna speak broken English to you because
Let me
you know
hear. Let me hear.
it's the politics side where you're looking at it. Of course, most of these African countries they look at like maybe where they're gonna get more money from, more fun. Who you think is they're gonna come watch? Do you think most African country fans are gonna travel from Africa like the way these other
Well,
countries
no.
before? Right. So there's so much to it. I just don't think because African football, man, African football is a great football to watch. We see what happened to Africana.
It
Yes, the
is.
last one, it's a little thing, but when we play against each other, we know how it's it. This is the reason why, like, I can't wait to watch the Ivory Coast versus Ecuador. Ecuador is the kind of team that you could see, like, yo, you could get African football from the South Americans.
Yeah.
So they did. So I think that yes. And another thing too, that you might be right to the part where like most of our great players who are dual citizen that could or they will become citizen in France or what don't come back as much as we need them to, but it's also
But,
got to do because of the
but
leadership of
you
the
know
country.
why though, right?
You got to do with the leadership of the country or whatnot, and it's totally understandable. Do what's best for you. I'm not gonna
Exactly.
sit here and criticize any man for choosing what they want to do for
Right.
them.
Yeah.
But to just
Gr-
say it's based on our quality of football,
No, no,
I
it's not. See, I say that because that's what they say, or that's what they
bro,
think.
I got
Yeah. That's what they're gonna say.
That's what
right,
we know the quality of our players is pretty good.
right,
We
Mhm.
see when they play when they play in European leagues, some of the best players are Africans.
right.
So with the right coaching and right training, they're pretty good. For example, Mbappe is a good example. His whole story. I mean, his
Right.
father, I heard at one point, he did approach Cameroon, right, to play for them. And something happened, they wanted money, whatever happened, he never had the chance to play for them. And now you got all these African players playing for France, and then they win the World Cup, and then African people are like, well, Africa won the World Cup because all the players are African. But the same thing you're saying.
Yeah.
Some of them have tried to represent their motherland countries, but then, because of the disorganization.
They come with their hand out.
Right,
Like
or those
for
federations,
Mbappe.
they just
Yeah.
listen. Like for example, and I don't mean to keep going on and on. Remember the last World Cup in Brazil when I don't know Nigeria or Ghana team, Ghana, they're
Ghana.
going to the World Cup. They haven't even sorted out their player salaries. They're arguing
Yeah.
about
They had to fly the money in the plane to come and get.
See, and when FIFA sees that and the rest of the world see that, it just confirms the stereotype saying these people in Africa, they're not organized. You can depend on them. And when you let people confirm the stereotype, it's not good for your product.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I was about to say that this is one of the reasons why they pick what you call Morocco as one of the top teams in Africa because they
You're
do
right.
got top players coming down
And,
coming to their play.
and
You
they're
know,
organized.
and they're organized. And then when you look at teams like Senegal, also you see Sané Mane and those other guys. Yes, they're not as deep as I think Morocco is, but
Right.
we seen them play against each other. It was supposed to be one of the best finals ever, but things happen with politics kicking. But we all got our own opinion on that. But fellas, man, this the World Cup, man. 2026 finally is here, man. It's starting. The opener didn't disappoint us, I guess, because there was really no expectation. It's Mexico versus South Africa, So
You just watch as a fan, you know.
right, so it was just happy for the Mexican fans. They got the opener at home. They won the first game. You know how many like Solo said 8 tries. This is the first time they ever won the opener, so this is good for them at home. A lot of tequilas are going around tonight. So let's go.
Hold on.
Congratulations.